Is moving in a bad idea? I, 21F, am planning on moving in with my boyfriend, 26 meters, of 2 years and our 2 friends, who are also a couple over the summer. I am still in college but have a full-time job and he is a server. He did not finish college yet but plans to soon. He is a DACA recipient. He can't get loans so it is difficult for him to pay. My dad has told me this is a really bad decision and that I am not allowed to do it. As much as I respect his input and understand his fears, I still don't understand why he is trying to forbid me. I am not mature yet. I want to experience life so that I can mature. This can go well or go poorly, I'll never know until I try. I went to a very religious school and really would like my independence. I don't need my dad's approval, but he keeps telling me if I do this it means I don't respect him, and that I'm throwing away everything he has invested in me. I told him I am not a return on investment, I am a human, and he got very angry that I insinuated he said that, even though to me, he did. My dad has been very gracious in financially supporting me thus far, and even though it'd be a bit difficult, I have a savings and a job and can afford to do this on my own. After our conversation, I don't really want my dad involved in financially supporting me anymore anyway, since he has been holding that support over my head as a means to get me to live how he wants. Besides my dad's opinions, is it a mistake to do this? My boyfriend and I are normal rational humans. We've talked about what happens if we break up, what could go wrong, etc. Our relationship is not toxic. After 2 years I know him very well, and definitely better than I know my current roommate. TL, doctor, was planning on moving in with BF of 2 years and another couple. Father is saying it's the biggest mistake of my life and if I do this I am disrespecting him. What should I do? Edit, I wanted advice regarding the situation, the move, the financials, and I got many of those, so thank you all. But please, no more comments about my boyfriend's DACA status or his personal life. This post is for me. He will worry about himself. You guys in the comments don't need to do that. I get that most of you are worried about his financial status, but he is not here to defend himself or explain his situation. So what is the use in speaking of him negatively? He is reading these responses too. Please keep it to moving out and not him personally. Living together is totally different than just dating. If you two choose to do it, then work out how finances should be split, as well as chores, etc. You are an adult and I agree that as a parent, we do not have the right to forbid. However, take a moment to ponder what your father is saying. He is older and has seen some stuff in his time. As parents, we can advise, but it certainly does not mean you have to take it. Good luck. Lots of good advice here, so reflect on it. All I want to add, as someone who's lived with a variety of people, don't live with another couple. Live with 2 random people. If things go wrong, could end up backing up their partners regardless of who's right and things blow up. They might be peaceful, kind, etc., but things can go nasty quick. If you do move in with him, don't move in with another couple, it's too much at once. Don't most people graduate when they turn 22? So you've got 1 to 2 years left. Graduating with no debt is huge. You're still very young. I'm 29 and trust me, you've got many years to live with someone else before even thinking about marriage. Just do sleepovers with your BF as a workaround and milk your dad for the money. Even for me, no debt and a high-paying tech job out of college at one of the top employers in the world, cash was tight for the first couple of years till I started earning more. Can't imagine the weight of debt. Telling your dad to piss off likely means taking on debt or getting another job. While not impossible, you've got the rest of your life to work and take on a soul-sucking mortgage, etc. Enjoy your final months before you're bound to working till you die. You don't have to like your dad, but free money is free money. Independence is great and you're just a few months away from total independence. Best of luck. Cohabitation is a skill just like any other portion of relationship skills that need to be mastered and practiced. It is also one of the first ones you cannot build while under your parents' tutelage, which is probably scary for them. So come at them with empathy. You do not want to marry yet, you are not ready for that, but you want to grow as a human and their job is to help you grow into a full human, and this is one of the steps you want to take. You might hate it. Tell your father you might hate cohabitation or might grow to hate date your BF, and if that happens you will need to rely on him and what he can teach you, but it's still a lesson you have to try to learn yourself, and you can't learn it from a book or from talking to others. You want to try to develop this human skill and you want his help. I have told him this. I have told him I have no expectations and things could go in any direction, but I know me and my boyfriend are good people and can make it work. I think he is in state of panic and he can't listen right now. Hopefully he will come around soon. My 28/F, almost ex-husband, 28/M, is suddenly putting in a lot of effort to fix our relationship because he thinks I'm seeing someone new. We've been together for 9 years. My husband has had an extreme personality change in the last 3 years. I think if we had met for the first time at 25, he wouldn't have even given me a second glance. It took me over a year to finally come to terms with that fact and realize what we had was a legal contract binding us together and not a marriage. So, 8 months ago I asked for a divorce. I didn't handle the asking part in a very mature way. My husband hadn't been home for over a month and he barely spoke or responded to me when I asked him when he was coming home. I finally had enough, and the next time he called me I told him I wanted a divorce over the phone. I don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't the fine that I got. I also didn't expect him to file before me, but I probably should have seen that one coming. Most of our communication has been through lawyers, and my husband only came home once to get some of his things and he barely said anything to me at all when he did. Then 2 months ago he decided to just move back home without warning. When I tried to ask him why he was there, he wouldn't answer my question and instead, he kept asking me who's Derek. Now, Derek is my cousin's boyfriend. He asked me and my other cousin to help him plan his proposal and with picking the ring, so we've been spending a lot of time together. A week before my husband moved back home, Derek and my other cousin were over so we could brainstorm. My sil called me during their visit and she asked me who the man in the background was, and I said something like, "Oh, that's just Derek." I didn't expect her to go and tell her brother about it, since she was the only one out of my in-laws that seemed to understand why I wanted a divorce. So ever since my husband moved back home, he's been trying very hard to convince me to give him a second chance. It's like I have my old husband back and he's no longer the aloof stranger that's been here the past 3 years. He actually makes an effort to be home and for us to spend time together. He's finally stopped prioritizing work over everything, and for once he asks for my input on things instead of just unilaterally making decisions. My husband was an amazing boyfriend and he's gone back to putting in the level of effort he was giving when we were dating, so things have been really good between us. I will admit I am enjoying the change very much and his jealousy over my imaginary boyfriend. Part of me feels guilty though, because there isn't anyone else and I should probably tell him the truth about Derek, but I'm worried he's going to be angry at me for letting it go on for so long, and part of me is scared he'll stop putting effort in when his competition no longer exists. So, do I tell him the truth, or do I let him continue to believe there is someone else? If I don't tell him, how long do I wait before I can accept that his change is genuine and not because he feels like he's competing with someone else? Too long didn't read. My husband and I were in the middle of getting a divorce when he suddenly moved back into our marital home because he believed I was seeing someone else. Ever since he has been going above and beyond to convince me to give him a second chance. There was never anyone else, but it's been 2 months and I haven't told him there was never another person in the picture. The fact that he moved back during the divorce that he filed first, and you let him, just blows my mind. You are going to be back in the same spot not too long from now. He hasn't even bothered to give you an explanation for his behavior for the last 3 years. He's gonna do this just long enough to win you back over, and then once he's settled in he'll revert back to what he was before. Trust. No, you don't owe him an explanation for his own assumptions. His change is not genuine, it won't last. You're letting him waste even more of your time. He so obviously sees you as a possession to win that he can keep away in a house ignoring you while he lives the life he wants to live. Your relationship is only interesting him again because he thinks he's competing with another guy. It's not you that's suddenly interesting again, it's the competition. Why the fuck would you give that a second chance? It's not you that's suddenly interesting again. It's the competition. Why the fuck would you give that a second chance? This bears repeating. He didn't even want you until he thought someone else did. What makes you think he won't lose interest again? I tried to pull the relevant details out of your post to get a clear look at the chain of events. We've been together for 9 years. You obviously got together when you were 19 or so, and you've been together your entire current adult lives. My husband has had an extreme personality change in the last 3 years. Then this. So, 8 months ago I asked for a divorce. My husband hadn't been home for over a month and he barely spoke or responded to me when I asked him when he was coming home. The next time he called me I told him I wanted a divorce over the phone. Husband said, fine. Husband filed before me. 2 months ago he decided to just move back home without warning. When I tried to ask him why he was there he wouldn't answer my question and instead, he kept asking me who's Derek. Now he's wooing you again. Possibly, as others have suggested, he has had one or more girlfriends over the past few years, has seen the error of his ways and your personal worth, and wants to try again at the marriage. Or, he has moved back in to re-establish residency and set himself up vis-a-vis the divorce settlement. You might want to run that scenario by your own lawyer, if you haven't yet, and figure out what the ramifications are for you. Ask him how assets might be divided if you divorce while cohabiting versus going to court with either you moved out, or him moved out. This may have everything to do with finances, or at least something. To protect yourself, please talk to your lawyer. Good luck to you. My so, 32M, of 3 years is uncomfortable with me, 28F, needing time away from him to recharge after work. Not sure how to better communicate my needs. Want to start my post off by saying that my son never tries to stop me from having time alone after work, he just doesn't understand it and I think it hurts his feelings a little. I want to figure out how to better communicate that it's not about needing time away from him, it's about needing time for myself. He's a serious extrovert with a quality time love language. He thrives on time together, and doesn't particularly enjoy doing things separately. We still do things separately, he just prefers to do everything together. I'm an introvert, and quality time is on the bottom of my love language priority list. I care for 6 small children in our home, and get very little downtime during my workday. They all have nap/quiet time in the afternoon, but I usually spend that time monitoring and disciplining the ones who don't sleep. After they all go home, I need half an hour or so to decompress and transition from work to home. As an aside, my so has a 5-year daughter who is included in my group of 6 kids. On the weeks she's at our house, I especially need a break after work before I can jump into parenting. It came up today that he doesn't understand why I need time away from him after work. He gets it when his daughter's here, but he mentioned today, I still don't love that you need time away from me. Can't you relax when I'm around? Which, I can relax with him around, but it's not meeting the same need, you know. I need some time with nobody talking to me, asking questions, expecting things, whatever. And the extrovert in him cannot handle sitting silently in a room for any length of time. Also, I don't think it's all that healthy to spend 100% of our free time together. COVID makes it hard to get out of the house, but that doesn't mean we need to be together all the time. Anyway, is there a more effective way to communicate this need to somebody who doesn't have it? TL, Dr. So respects but doesn't understand my need for alone time. Want to figure out how to explain it so he's not left feeling rejected.